We've been working on making flock the ultimate habitat for birds, and one way we're doing that is by adding birdhouses. Lots of them. This brings life to the property through increased bird sightings and birdsong, particularly throughout the spring and summer months, and even helps keep pesky insects like mosquitoes and herbivorous and plant-sucking insects at bay. The snow is melting rapidly, as you can see, and I thought maybe we'd have another month of winter, but it's not looking like that. And if we don't start working on this now, then we're gonna run the risk of the birds coming here already and the houses are not cleaned or they're not put up. Many of our birds are cavity nesters, including tree swallows, bluebirds, chickadees, nuthatches, house wrens, woodpeckers, owls, and even some ducks. So in this video, we're going to show you how we're getting prepared for our birds this spring. This includes cleaning out the bird homes, and you may be surprised what we find along the way, repairing and renovating some of the homes so you could bring more beauty and longevity to the bird boxes, and finally installing them on the land, where we'll discuss proper spacing and positioning.
Here we go.
Perfect.
When we're done. How many times are you gonna fall today, you think?
Earlier today, I almost did a face plant. There's an egg in there.
A what?
It's an old egg. It never
got abandoned.
There's always some surprises in here, so we're gonna be cleaning out the boxes, and you will be surprised at some of the things that we find in here. So hopefully we get some of the
Well, last
the
time
ones.
we cleaned it out, a mice ran out of it.
Well, don't give it out. Don't give it away. We might actually find some mice.
Might have found well, what feathers are those, you think? What was in there?
This looks like turkey feathers.
Oh, so they probably just used them as fluff or...
Yeah, exactly. So birds will pick up anything that they find. I mean, this used to be an old nursery, and what was interesting is that we were finding plant tags like built into the nests, which was like so cool. So they'll pick up feathers from ducks. This is like, looks like turkeys. But this is good to be able to clean them out. Now, you don't really have to, because a lot of times the birds will reuse them and re-clean it out, but the benefit of cleaning them out is that it gets rid of like maybe any mites or anything like that, and then the birds could start all over again. And they could build a nest in like very short period of time.
So they'll clean it out even if a mice got in there and
yeah, sometimes they'll just build on top of the nest, or they'll start taking out the nest in here, but it's just, it takes them longer, obviously, to clean it out. It's like you going into a house and having to clean it out before you do renovations. So, and one of the tips that we could give you is that Sonder decided to use first of all outdoor screws, so they last longer. And two, we use the same screws outside. So even if we have
you show up at the birdhouse and then your bit doesn't fit. T25. How many birdhouses do you think you got?
I don't know, maybe 50?
Oh,
so?
It's gonna be a long day.
All right, let's see who lived in here. This looks like...
That looks like mice nest.
This looks like a mice nest because it doesn't look
no
well
one's
formed.
home.
Yeah, I don't know. Last time
Well, it could still be in there.
Yeah, last time I stuck my face in there and then the mouse came flying out.
Yeah, I think he jumps out and he basically runs down on your shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, what a reach. Oh, this looks also like a little mouse. Oh, I smell this one.
Ooh, yeah.
It smells a little like urine. All right, let's see who lived in here. Well, that's a bird's nest. And a mouse nest on top. You see that? So the mouse built a nest on top of the bird's nest.
So you think they'll come back, the mice?
They
Probably
might.
not right now.
I mean, they might in the springtime, but by that time the birds will be already, I think, too aggressive for the mice. So mice like to use these as like a winter home because most of the time those mice are sleeping during the day and then maybe at night they'll come out for some food.
So this one had a red squirrel in it last year?
Yeah, you see how we didn't, so this is what happens when you don't put a predator guard on it. And you know, basically a predator guard keeps away like maybe larger birds like a starling because most of our small songbirds like a tree swallow or sparrows or things like that will need a 1.5-inch hole. Bluebirds, 1.5-inch hole, nothing bigger. Anything bigger than that, then a starling could fit in there. And then also, in this case, this was a red squirrel, and I felt bad that we knocked him out because we have so many birdhouses. We're like, so what if a red squirrel's in here? And I felt bad, so I was like, let's not put a predator guard on this one anyway, and like...
Well, let's see if he came back.
Yeah. Ooh.
I just spent all this time moving all my stuff in, now you pull it out.
Let's see what's in there, anything. Look at that little cubby hole.
Yeah,
See
that's
that?
cozy.
That was a nice little cozy house.
Goodbye.
Yeah, well, they could reuse some of that too.
How would you like it for me to throw all your furniture out on the street and then, you know, you could reuse it, you give some drag in.
Well, if the furniture was pissed on, then
Yeah,
I think
okay.
I'd be like happy. And had it infected with mites, yeah, I would be up for somebody cleaning out that furniture.
So this one does have a predator guard and look, it's all fine.
Yes, and it just had a bird, it just had birds in it.
Ooh.
So you could see. Now you'll see that this one has a different kind of predator guard. It's like an extra fitting.
Yeah, I remember
the
this
metal.
thing got all eaten out.
Yeah.
And what I did is I cut more of it out, put one of these in, and then put a predator guard. So if it's too far gone, you can also decorate the front-facing facade. Is this it? Yeah. So I kind of leave the screw like this, so you don't have to
Oh, that's smart.
pull it out. So,
That's a mouse house.
anybody home? So many mice in the property.
Well, the mice really move in after the springtime.
What'd you get?
Well,
It must be it.
I think we got something. I think we got a bird box, but I don't think we got the...
Oh, you're saying you're ordering more?
I don't think it's the ones that for the barn swallows. So what we like to do is often we'll get a birdhouse because we're just so busy with the renovations of the home. We'll make some birdhouses, but for the most part, we'll get a birdhouse, especially if it's a good price or if it looks really good, and then we'll modify it.
Dark brown?
Yeah, it's like a piece of wood, and then they added like a stucco top to it, and then glazed it so it lasts longer.
Stucco?
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh.
So I figured we could put this maybe on the, you know, that juniper tree that we cut down, and we left it as a post.
Maybe.
Maybe either on top or
Yeah,
as
it
a
seems
back.
like it's got a flat bottom. You
Yeah, exactly. So
Penthouse.
yeah, it's really cool. I like
Bird
the look
penthouse.
of it. I actually like it better now in person than I saw in the photo. So that's one. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get some of our cedar boxes. They're kind of more like platforms, so they're not for cavity nesters. And we'll talk about that, about like basically creating space for barn swallows.
All right, we're gonna put this one here. I don't know if they know this thing is here.
Well,
Like,
no, we
bird
remember
has
this.
ever stayed in this.
No, the starling. Remember the starling would
starling
poke his
wanted to
head
get
in,
in. Yeah,
but
the
it's
only-
too small for him.
The only bird that knows this thing is here is a bird we don't want. Oh.
So wasps still in there?
Yeah.
Do you think you could?
Is he alive?
I don't know. You're the one up there. You gotta put your hand
He doesn't look very alive. He's probably just like frozen in time. Nah, I think he's dead.
Okay. Oh. This one's gonna be a challenge.
Why?
It's not only on a hill, but it's in a bunch of picky brambles. Oh boy. Oh my God.
Oh man, hold on to that post.
I'm like surfing. This also has some spider webs in it. Nothing out of the ordinary there. It's got a lot of bird poop in it though. Woo! I feel like I'm surfing. Okay.
Oh, look at that wasp nest in there.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's one of the surprises. We've had a couple wasp and hornet nests.
Now, those are all...
Oh my God, look, there was a little baby bird. Oh my God. You know what? What happened? It maybe the wasp nest moved in and the bird had to move out and... Oh, that is sad. Oh, 2 baby birds. Look at... Here's another skeleton.
What species you think?
It could be a bluebird, it could be a tree swallow. It's really hard to tell. They're in various stages of decay. Wowee. See, this is what I say. It's like, this is a crime scene right there.
Now those hornets, they're not alive anymore.
I don't think so.
Like you tell me.
Well, let's see. Oh, they might be babies in there. Even there's caterpillars behind this. Look at all the caterpillars.
All the white stuff?
Yeah. Well, we could leave those in there.
That'll be food for them.
Food for the birds. Wow, this one was... Sorry. You gotta stand back. Let's try this one. This one doesn't require a screwdriver. I really like these. They're small. It has a small hole. So this is gonna be for something like a wren or a chickadee. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna show you what I see. So I like to use these gear ties. This is something I'll talk about more. They're for cords, typically. Like, so if you have like extra cords in your house. And these I think are really useful. I'll put them in the description below.
Like cords to bundle them together and store them away. Yeah.
Exactly, so that you don't have
But really
all these...
for anything you can.
I like to use them because they obviously have a wire in, but they're protected with this rubber on the outside. So I find them to be really good for outdoor, like hanging bird feeders or birdhouses. I'll show you some birdhouses just have a loop, and the loop doesn't work because how are you going to get the loop over this giant stem?
You'll have to thread it through the maze of branches.
Exactly. So I use these gear ties, and you could easily get them out and
what's in there?
You see they have some nut stashes. Some squirrel or bird will actually stash nuts in here. So this will be like a little pantry. There is a birdhouse in here.
A birdhouse?
Yeah, a bird nest. You'll see some parts of caterpillars in here. So this is basically like a pantry in the winter. And I find the ones that look like this, that are small, act more like a pantry for whatever reason. And I find a lot of seeds in those.
It's probably similar to like a tree cavity.
Yeah, you know, these are all mimicking tree cavities to a certain extent. So that's where, if we didn't have birdhouses, that's where a lot of these birds would nest, would be in a tree cavity. Now, one thing that happened, unfortunately, like in our neighbor's property, is they clear cut a lot of trees, which is unfortunate. You know, theoretically, there's probably still trees there that have cavities in, but oftentimes when you go and you just ravage a forest, then you have less tree cavities. So we like to make sure, we like to overly compensate for our neighbor's management and we could create a lot of these tree cavities. All right, so Sander brought a ladder because some of these are way too high.
I don't know if you can reach this.
No, I think we might. We have to basically take the top off of that one. You want me to do it? Here, have a glove. This is the one that I see the bluebirds hanging out in and checking out.
Have a glove. So the top just pops off?
The top pops off.
Is
Remember
it screwed?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, it's not screwed on. Sometimes the wind will blow it off.
Okay.
Now this is designed for a purple martin, but we have never seen purple martins on our land. But
oh, it's loaded.
Tree swallows and starlings and bluebirds will nest in here.
Let me show you what's up here. Oh, this is what I see up here. Oh, it's actually a really flat layer of stuff. Coming down.
Okay. Oh!
The penthouse is clean.
The penthouse is
There's
clean.
4 apartments underneath. On to the next one. Now, don't they just clean those houses out themselves?
Yeah, some of them will clean out the houses themselves. In some cases, like in our duck boxes, you have to actually bring bedding into there because species like ducks won't actually bring in their own materials.
So what they do in real life?
Well, they'll usually be in nesting holes in the tree, and there'll be usually like some type of sawdust in there or whatnot from like a woodpecker, or they might take over a hole that was used by a bird that had bedding material in there. So duck boxes.
So the tree swallows were actually in the duck boxes last year because they were put up too late.
Yeah.
So imagine a tree swallow bringing material in and then a duck finding it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But normally we'll put in our own sawdust and feathers and hay and things like that for ducks. Okay, this one we had a lot of questions about. This is a popular nest box. It's usually one of the first ones that the birds will take, and we modified this heavily. So we had an original box here that was just here before us, and it was falling apart, and we had to change it out. And we made this fancy box with the slate top. We have the predator guard, bark front face, and we installed a camera in this box. And we installed the camera a little late in the season. So there was a bird in here. I cleaned out the nest early in the season. Then we installed the camera, and we'll show you what moved in.
Yeah, the camera actually stopped working last year, so I'm wondering what's going on with it.
Yeah.
I haven't checked.
So there was a wasp nest in here, but now I only see this little wasp nest. It looks like somebody came in here and took it away. So there was a wasp nest in here. You didn't take that out, did you?
No. I think.
So they made a wasp nest right up in here.
Yeah, I think so. You could see the leftover spider webs.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the little camera.
And like I said, we just installed it a little too late. So what happens is the tree swallows will have one brood. So they'll have 3 to 6 or 3 to 8 different young, and they'll just have one brood and they'll go away. Then the bluebirds will actually have 2 broods a season typically. So you'll see that sometimes when the tree swallows move out, a bluebird will move in, and I think that's what started to happen in most of these boxes. But in this case, when I cleared out the box after the tree swallow was in here, a wasp moved in, and that wasn't great viewing on the camera, so it feels like it was a little bit of a waste, but maybe not this season if we could figure out how this camera could work again. So you'll see we have a duck box right over here as well. So we position them on either side of this large kind of lake, and then we have them on the other ponds. And I think thing to note here is that we have these on metal posts. And part of the reason for that is that a metal post versus a wooden post is actually safer, because what will happen is that sometimes minks, raccoons, they'll want to crawl up the post. With a metal post, that's really difficult. So if you have a wooden post, you'd want to probably install a post guard, which looks like basically a big metal skirt, so that if like a snake or something can't crawl up that, but a snake can't crawl up a metal post, we have it actually positioned partially in the water and wide open, so that when the small ducks come out of the box, they could just boop, plop right down into the water and be safe. And with these duck boxes, like I said, we include all the fluff and hay.
Do you want to check it now?
We can, yeah.
I wonder if the ice is still frozen.
The problem is I stepped on that one over there and I went right through.
Which one?
The lower pond.
The water? Uh-oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So you could see that this is all the bedding material that we included in here, and that will provide warmth and everything for the birds. And as I said, we actually installed these a little late in the season. Some of our ducks will come and start nesting like in late February, which it is right now, and early March. Now this is too icy, but as soon as this ice melts, we will start seeing ducks on the pond. And in that case, we have a floating duck box, which will be maybe a video for another time. We have an old video on installing that floating duck box. We might do some modifications on it. But as soon as this melts, we need to be out there and putting that floating duck box, because some ducks, like wood ducks and what else? Buffleheads, they will use boxes. But then you'll have certain mergansers and regular black ducks or mallards, geese, they will nest on a platform. So different ducks will nest different ways. Okay, we have one more over here.
I wonder if you could just put that floating one on the ice and just let it melt, and then it will be in place.
Yeah, well, we could do that, but the challenge is we could position.
You put the stones right next to it, and as soon as it melts, it'll just pull it down.
Yeah,
right?
because we have these big.
I think you should do that instead of having the
big cement blocks to keep it in one place. So this is one of those other cylinder homes. This one's like slightly wider, but you can see it has a copper top. And again, this is a pantry. I think I'm gonna leave these in here, but you can see somebody stashed peanuts in this one. So it could be a squirrel, it could be a bird, it could be like a titmouse or chickadee. Probably not a chickadee because they can't get those big of peanuts. But titmice will, surprisingly, they're just a little bigger than a chickadee. I'm gonna leave this one because that is somebody's storage unit. And, but I just wanted to show you all the different things. I mean, just to recap, we found dead bird bodies, peanuts, hickory nuts,
mice,
acorns,
squirrels,
mice, squirrel material, wasps. There's all sorts of things that live in these nest boxes. So that's why it's good to clean them out and then have it just a fresh slate for spring. But as I shared, we had removed a lot of the bird boxes on this side, on the south side, because we had to replace the deer fence. And so what we're gonna transition to now is renovating some of those boxes so that we could get them up. And we'll show you the different ways and strategies that we're using to create the beautiful boxes and also give them some longevity. Because when they're out in the sun like this and the rain and all the elements, you'd be surprised. I mean, they degrade within like 1 or 2 years. So we're gonna transition to do that. All right, so we've cleaned out most of the houses. There's some exceptions. I have one in here that I think still has a mouse house. I don't know if we'll get to this one, but this is a bunch of the ones that we had to take down or that we haven't put up yet. And our plan is to renovate them. So we're just gonna do any kind of repairs that need repairing. You'll see ones that are just made out of wood. They get really like spongy and they start to fall apart. Maybe some of the screws are rusty. So we're basically going to repair each and every single one of them. You put some predator guards on. You'll see even this one had a predator guard and they started to like
some of them
eat around. This one is made out of this one's made by Duncraft. So they actually do some pretty decent birdhouses. But you could see even this one, which is this like kind of wood plastic fiber, and how they just like nick it.
We might have to take these screws out, replace this part, and then put a predator guard on.
Yeah, that's gonna be your job.
Okay.
I'm gonna be painting this one, so this is a new one.
What's that?
This one is now I've never seen a barn owl around here. I've never heard a barn owl. We have barred owls, B-A-R-R-E-D, and I've seen some smaller owls, maybe like screech owls. So we have a screech owl house down on the barn already, but this one is for a barn owl.
Huge.
Massive. So they like to get in here. It has like a little compartment.
And it's on its side, right? So
yeah.
Put it up right.
No, this is it.
Oh, it's on the side like that?
This is how it works, and then we'll open it up this way, and they like to actually stand on top of the boxes. But I'm gonna paint it, because we want it the same color essentially as the barn, so that it could just kind of fade in. And I have an idea of where we're gonna put this. It's gonna be on the south side. So generally these boxes like to be on the south, east, sometimes west. You could get away with getting in the north. We'll show you more of that when we actually start installing them. And that's what we're gonna do. So hopefully, I don't know how many we have here, probably 15, 16, 17, 18, 20.
Yeah, so some of the roofs will replace. And we have a bunch of roofing materials here. Some samples from, we installed the roof on our house, we ordered some samples. So this is like a fake slate.
This is a real slate.
This is a real slate, which is heavier.
And then these are like fake cedar.
This is like fake cedar.
Here's some more of that fake slate.
Looks kind of like terracotta as well.
We have rubber.
Rubber roof.
That looks like a show sugibon, kind of
looks
cedar
kind of like
shingles.
cedar.
So those are all the options. I mean, this is perfectly fine. This looks great.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good waterproof.
Yeah, but we'll be doing all that, and we'll show you what we're doing along the way. Yeah, so let me talk to you about the predator guards. So these are some of the predator guards we like. We do brass. We have copper ones as well.
Yeah, these are nice and thick.
Yeah, these are a little bit more
very
expensive.
thin. So actually, when you have a birdhouse that has kind of a round bark, these will actually bend quite easily.
Yeah, or you could just do something like that.
Tougher, but copper's still soft. Anyways.
Well, you know, what I'll tell you about these is that typically, depending on the bird that you're attracting, a 1.5-inch hole will attract, at least around here, a bluebird or a tree swallow. They can't get into anything smaller, so they need a 1.5-inch. Anything bigger than that, you're gonna get a bigger bird, probably like a starling, which is an invasive bird here, and we don't really want to promote that. The starlings will find another place to go. So if you want to protect it from starlings and other predators that are bigger than 1.5-inch, but then you have chickadees, you have some smaller woodpeckers like downy woodpeckers, you have nuthatches, you have wrens, like house wrens and stuff like that, and they will go in a 1.5-inch hole, but they could actually fit into a 1.25 or 1.125 inch. So we also have smaller predator guards specifically for those. So we just have to make sure that we match the predator guard. So you can see this one's a tiny little 1-inch hole, and it has 1 inch right there, made in the USA. Some of them are made in the USA, some are China knockoffs, but yeah, you'll see that depending on the hole, we have to do that. And then, so that's gonna be Saunders' job today, and I'm gonna be painting.
We found some nice screws at the local hardware store, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah, the brass screws.
So we'll put those on.
I already mentioned these, but this is the gear tie that I was talking about before. So these are the rubberized gear ties, and some of these, you know, we're obviously attaching to a post, but others, like, let me show you. These, for example, you know, you might have to use in order to hang on a tree.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So that's how it works.
Now for these, you might just stain the top in order to
Preserve
protect
it,
Because
yeah.
I don't think you can replace this as easily with stone.
Yeah, but we'll show you how, like, you might
the
have to
predator
chip this away and actually put the predator guard. And let me give you an example of like boxes that when you don't prolong them, what happens.
Oh my.
So this is one that obviously predated us, but you can see it's falling apart. Look at, you probably have termites in there.
Yeah, probably.
This is cool though. I mean, look at that lichen on the top.
Yeah, but that's not gonna last.
Yeah, this predator guard though was really beefy, and it looked like it was very useful. So
yeah.
I don't know, maybe we could save
That's
part
too
of this.
far gone.
It might be too far gone, but like this just is an example of like, you know, you're gonna be changing them out in like 3 or 4 years. We have another one here, which I will tell you was not really put well. It attracted the wood ducks, but we had scratch marks and claw marks and bird feathers falling out of it, and it's probably because it was put on a wooden post. Some predator like a raccoon or something crawled up in it and like grabbed whatever was in there. So we've made our bird boxes a lot more protected. But again, this is a really cool piece of wood. I think it's a little too far gone, but just give you an example of like how these things eventually do decay over time.
What's wrong with this one?
So this one initially, this is one of those Amish birdhouses, and remember this top? I think you fixed it though, did you? We haven't hung it up, but maybe we should add predator guards?
Oh yeah, so yeah, predator guards on this one, maybe copper. Looks nice with the wood.
Copper would look nice.
This wood will degrade, although I'm confident it will be fine for a while because it's very steep.
Yeah.
And what we did is we put this goop on top here that protects it from water getting in here, because I think that will absolutely destroy it if water gets in there, gets in the house. No good. But this roof is quite steep, so I think it will shed off.
So we'll measure these, but I think they're 1.5-inch holes, and we'll just do like 1.5 inch, but we'll have Sonder like really measure those and make sure.
Yeah, but let's take a look at 2 options here. Copper.
Yeah, but that's a 1 inch.
Yeah, I know, it's just to look at the color.
Oh.
Brass?
No,
Copper's better.
copper's
All
better,
right, so this is gonna get copper. This is gonna get copper guards on it. What do we want to do with this one? Man, this is spongy, huh?
So that one has to be cleaned out. We have to figure out, because there's no opening for this, and I like the look of it still. But maybe we take the bottom off or something.
Honestly, where was this? Because it's super soaked.
It's
like
like-
this thing is.
I know. It used to be.
I don't know if it's worth saving.
It used to be hanging up in a tree, but now it
You
fell
can't
down.
open it, so
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna put this one inside for now. Let it completely dry out. Well, we'll take
Okay.
the roof off.
Yeah.
Put it inside, let it completely dry, and then we'll make a slate roof for this.
Okay.
But I think that wood on the bottom is really far gone, actually.
Well, you might have to take the wood off.
This one, we'll take this off, put a new predator guard on,
Okay.
but the rest is fine. This one, new roof.
New roof, yeah. I think we could
Maybe we
leave the predator guard off because it's a weird hole shape.
Yeah. But,
So-
you know, you overlap this.
Yeah, you could. Oh, a gold. Yeah, that gold brass looks nice.
Kind of looks
actually.
good with the Duncraft
Yeah, it
logo.
does.
Maybe we'll double it up. Maybe we'll do 2 of these.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. See,
Okay.
all the holes are catching.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that on there. What's next? Oh yeah, these are some of our older ones. I think these would just replace the roofs on and a predator guard.
Yep.
And these are thin enough.
Well, that one has a nice cedar shingle roof, though. You want to replace that one?
It's gonna go eventually.
Yeah, it will.
But yeah, you're right. We have that. Where's the these? See, this is like the perfect
that's
thickness.
Perfect.
So let's use this.
Yeah.
Charcoal gray Enviro slate.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
perfect.
These
Yeah, that
two
looks
go
really
together.
good.
Then here, same thing.
That could be a new roof.
And we need a little screw here to hold
And
this.
a predator guard.
And a predator guard. And maybe we can use that terracotta color on this one.
Ooh, yeah.
Where did
we
it
have
go?
Right here, on the right.
Is that gonna be? Look at that, same
Yeah, that looks
thickness.
nice.
I like to see a little overhang, but this will be fine. Okay, so this goes on that.
Okay.
Then what's wrong with this one? I don't think anything is wrong
Nothing
with
is
this.
wrong. We just had to take that one down because we were replacing the deer fence.
Okay, so this one's done. Goes on the done pile. These ones, I think this just needs a little guard.
How do you do a predator guard on that? Because it was designed to be off-center.
it's offset. Well, what I think we should do is just, maybe I'll have to make a little piece of wood that goes behind here and then drill
Okay.
this out.
Yeah, that's
just so
another
it sits
possibility.
flush. This one, I don't know how you're gonna
No,
put
I
a
think this one
predator
has
guard.
to just be as is.
Unless we have like straight pieces of metal that we can like. But
Yeah, but this is meant to be. This is meant to
This
look
is
this
fancy.
way. Yeah, these are.
now this is wood, but it's painted, so it will last a lot longer. So I don't think we
Exactly.
need to replace the roofs
No,
on these.
I don't think so either.
And these are kind of just, I don't know, I think these will last a long time because they're painted and we can always repaint them once the paint starts to go. So these are kind of done except for they need a predator guard. Let's keep that over here. What you gonna do with this one?
Oh.
We just paint the roof, right? So,
Well, we either paint it and then put a predator guard on top, right?
oh yeah, and the predator guard on that one. But painting goes first. Let's see.
We have a bunch in the front seat.
So yeah, this one I think we'll use as an example. This hangs in a tree, and I think this is a perfect example for one of the slates.
Now that has a hinge on top, doesn't it, to open up the top?
Oh, it does.
But we could put slate on top, maybe? I don't know.
How did that work?
With a screw.
Oh yeah.
See a little screw? So we might have to.
No, that's not gonna work. Well,
Okay.
we could put slate on top of wood,
But then we
the
have
way
a
around.
screw hole.
but then you can't open the screw anymore. Although this will hold it shut.
Yeah, that's true.
The weight of this. But this looks kind of weird when there's
Yeah.
slate on wood.
You'll have to creatively think about that. We
We might.
might have to just stain it.
Well, we'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, to be continued.
But we can always.
The problem is, like, not all of them, like, we have some that were designed for not hanging, and they're easier to put the slate on.
The slate is best actually on those duck boxes and on this model here, which we have a lot of them of.
Yes.
So what I do is I cut, well, first of all, I cut the slate to size, and I use this saw blade for that. This is a tile saw blade, and this might be meant to go in a circular saw, but I put it on the table saw here, and it makes it really easy to rip square. So that goes there, and you just feed your stone through. And this is a little beat up saw. It's not as good anymore. It's a little wobbly. So that's perfect for like cutting stone because it does do a good number on your saw after you put a couple of stone pieces through. But I like to cut this flush with the same angle as the back. So I just set the angle, and then I like to cut a little groove in the front here so that when water drips off from the front, it's not gonna run towards the front of this house.
Ingenious.
And then we use something called Lexel, which is like a silicone sealant. It's kind of like a glue. Put that on the top of the birdhouse and then just press this in there. And then what I made is some kind of like an angled shelf. And I put these on, and then I put like something heavy on the birdhouse here, so it would press it into the glue, and that just dried, and man, that'll seal it on here. And I think it does a great job at protecting the birdhouse. I mean, this wood will eventually go, but it takes much longer now that it has a stone roof.
Yeah,
because the water can't get in there from the inside.
And the sun is like, the sun hits the top of the roof, not really the side as much.
Yeah,
so.
it's not gonna soak it like this thing here. This thing is absolutely,
Yeah.
it's like moss.
I know. It looks cool though. I like when they're kind
You
of
like the look, but-
semi-degrading. Yeah.
You may have seen this birdhouse in one of the videos in the background, because this is the one that sits on the post in the middle of the field, and I believe it's a purple martin house, right? They need to have a specific like radius of no trees, certain height, but we haven't really seen any purple martins in this area. So what happens is a lot of the swallows or
Tree swallows, yeah.
they end up taking over this apartment.
Usually just one though, because the thing is with purple martins, they're communal, which is why there's so many. But then we might have a tree swallow on one side and a tree swallow on the other side, and then they choose different ones.
Oh, so
Funny.
the purple martins like hanging out with each other.
Yes.
The tree swallows are very territorial.
Exactly.
So they have 12 apartments to themselves? Yeah. Wow, all right. Well, anyways, we really like the look of this thing in the landscape, but it's been out there for like 1 or 2 years now.
2 or 3, I think. It was one of the first things we got.
Yeah, but
3 years
look at
maybe.
it now. It is really, it had a rough time. And this thing is in the full sun, every day.
No protection.
No protection. So here's what I think happened. Well, this just started to rot out, and then this screw got loose, and then the weight of this probably cracked the side here. So we're gonna glue some stuff up. And then I think part of the reason this like degrades so much is just the weather hitting it. So I think what's good to do is we should stain this. We should add a couple layers of stain on this so that it just has more protection.
And this is cedar.
And it's cedar, so it should be fine. It shouldn't be too rotted yet. But hit this end grain really good with some stain, and then that should prevent it from rotting away further. Then the roof, I think, is eventually gonna go. So we need to swap that out. And it also looks a little busy to me. Like this is
Yeah.
very modern and nice, simple, but then this looks very chaotic with all the little shingles and the nails sticking out. I mean, look at that. That's a rusted nail just falling off. It's just a matter of time before this goes. So what we do is we went to the reuse center.
See anything?
I don't think they have any slates. It's a little piece. Ooh, what about this whole box? Ooh. It's square though. That might work.
Yeah, that works for the birdhouse.
That will work for a roof. That's large enough.
That's really
I hope.
We found someone who had 2 extra tiles left over for their bathroom or kitchen, whatever, tile job.
Yeah,
and they couldn't
amazing.
use them, so there were just 2 tiles like this. And it's actually quite clean looking slate. But what we want to do, tiles are 2 feet, birdhouse is 2 feet. I wish there was a little overhang on each side, but that's all right. This thing doesn't have much
Beggars
overhang.
can't be choosers.
So see how it's like a little bit too wide here?
Yeah.
It's got too much overhang.
Yeah.
What I like to do is I like to cut a little strip off of this, and then maybe if I have 2 of those strips, I can chop them up further to make 2 little chimneys out of stone. That would be kind of cool, right?
Cool, yeah.
So I'm gonna use 2 tiles like this, make sure that's like siliconed in so that there's no water gets in there. Make sure I got my drip edge on the outsides here, and then use those little strips to make 2 chimneys and just glue them on top.
Now my question is there a way to be able to take these front plates off in order to clean them easier? Or is that how you do it? Oh, it's
so
just like a
there's
little flip up.
There's 2 nails in the top.
acting as hinges, which we might want to replace with something beefier because these are like very tiny.
Yeah,
And then there's 2 screws here at the bottom that you undo,
I see.
and then it opens up like this. And I don't think we need to stain the inside.
No,
so we
I
should
don't
just
think so.
we should just put some on the outside. It'd be nice to replace these rods with metal, but I don't know if we could find like a thick brass, like 2 feet stick.
Well,
like
we're going to
that.
stop at the hardware store soon because we
Yeah.
did run out of brass screws for the houses. So
And I don't think we need predator guards on these.
No, I don't think so.
So, that would be very chaotic
These
too.
are also much larger than 1.5 inch hole, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm surprised the Starling hasn't taken it over, right?
No, I
'Cause
think it's too tiny in there for them.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Look at the
it's not-
tiny little chambers.
It's not meant for bigger
I mean, we
birds.
could demolition the walls and then
No.
open it up. You know, an
No.
open floor plan. Merge the kitchen and the living room.
No, because if we ever get...
Ooh, this is very loose.
oh, yeah. Oh, it comes out.
This may come out. I don't know if it does. It may just be freaking loose. And
I think it has a... Because the other side has rooms too.
yeah, it's a 24
It's
unit
like a
apartment.
duplex, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great rental property.
So you're seeing the before of this, before, after. This is after 3 years of use, and then we'll give you some after shots when
Yeah.
it's done.
And this thing sits on a post. So
But we need to make that 5 inches
yes,
actually
that's
now.
true. So this is a 4x4 little slot thingy, but I'm just gonna have to make a new one that will sit on top of a 5x5 post. And ideally, I like to make some mechanism that kind of can rotate the thing, because I'm not sure if our post is oriented correctly to where it needs to go.
Right, so we replaced that post as well.
Yeah, we put in a bigger post, a 5x5 versus a 4x4, because that thing just became a banana over time, and then all of a sudden it just looks weird.
Yeah.
So 5x5 is gonna be stronger. Also a little lower, I think a foot lower. That will help with it bending and preventing it from bending. So yeah, let's get working on this one and make it brand new.
Sounds good.
So you're gonna be painting this, well, staining, same stain as the barn, right?
Yep, exactly. This is the mount down below.
Like a deck.
Yeah, it's like a little deck. And so,
Well, okay, that's probably
Yeah.
got something to do with it.
yeah, I think something like
That
this.
doesn't fit. It's going underneath it.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. There
Yeah,
you go.
like that. So that's a little deck. And they like to perch.
We showed you interior design. Yeah, so it's just a mud room and a living room.
Yeah.
No windows.
Yeah.
But
And
like
this is the exact size hole that they need to get in. So, and you know what? There's no guarantee that there's going to be a barn owl that gets near. It could be a starling. It could be a tree swallow for all I know. So, but you might as well try, because it'd be kind of cool to see one. It'd be really neat. Have that.
will
and
you
then-
even like hanging out near the barn, or is it too many people there? Too many
Well,
activity?
I don't know. We'll see.
Nice shirt, painter.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even plan this today. Just so happened. All right, we are day 2 on the birdhouses. There was a lot to do yesterday. We didn't stop until about 6, and then we went to the shop and got some more brass screws. But Saunders, yeah, look at those. Saunders painting up some of the things that I had painted yesterday because what I painted was probably not good enough.
No, it's good, but you just miss a couple spots. And it's logical because look how many sides this thing has.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have a little bit here. And this is the first coat anyways, but I got these headlights now, and it really,
Yeah,
you're not gonna miss.
We were
You
working in
see?
the dark.
Like, try to see
Yeah.
what you've missed. And now, with the
Yeah.
light,
Yeah.
you can immediately see where
So
spots are.
other good news is that we got 2 more birdhouses in, so we can make these, but I didn't want to bother because they were they're affordable enough. They're already put together, and then we could just actually, do what we want with them. Which I'm going to stain them today.
I mean, you can only spend so much time on making birdhouses.
Yeah. So we think we're going to just
Spend
finish
a
up
week.
this up today. It's raining outside, unfortunately. Yesterday was so nice, but we'll probably have one more day of putting them up. I just want to kind of show you the progress of the slate roof also on this birdhouse.
Yeah, it's got chimneys. Check it out.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Or some people say chimney.
Chimney. Yeah.
The only thing is it's rocking a little, so I have to cut out the angle a little better, and I have to take the Band-Aids off, obviously. But it's got 2 chimneys, like that. And then
I can't wait to see the birds prop themselves.
it's got
in
a
those.
little gap here on the side so that if water gets in, it will drain out.
Yeah, that's great. So he'll probably Lexel that on at some point. And then we still have to put in some of the predator guards to some of these. But you could see that we have some of the copper ones on here. We ran out of these brass screws, which is why we had to go pick them up at the store yesterday. Kind of a local store. It's actually the only place that we find those brass screws. But that is the rest of what we're going to do today, and then hopefully, maybe on a next nice day, we'll put these all up.
Here's an update on this bigger birdhouse. It's all painted, the roof is on. I still have to put the chimneys on, which are over here. I have to still cut a little bit more out because it's rocking when it's put on the roof. So once those are dry, I'm gonna glue them on. This bottom piece will sit on a post, and I've put a bolt in the middle so you can rotate it here. And once you're happy with the orientation, you could screw it down. The other side pieces are over here. They're actually already dry, so I guess I can install these next, and that will make it look like a birdhouse again. All right, one side's installed and it looks so good. So I replaced these screws at the top. Actually, these nails at the top for the hinges, I just replaced them with a trim screw. Has a little flat end here, which allows it to kind of spin. So when you loosen these up, you could still open it and get in there. And these are tougher screws and T25s, so they'll match the rest of all the birdhouses we have. So yeah, that's what it will look like, and then at the end we'll put these little chimneys on like this. But yeah, they rock a little bit, so I gotta cut a little more out. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, I think 3.5 from the edge looks nice. So Let's just glue them in there. Okay, here we got it. So I put a little bead of it on the sides. This will stay open so the water can get out. That gets in there. Turned out real nice. This top part is all sealed. And we got this nice stone roof. And we got our drip edge here so water cannot get in there. And yeah, that's it. All right, here's the final result, all gluing up. I got the bottom replaced, sides replaced, put some air ventilation in here. I have a second roof inside so that this actually pops off. So you have to undo 2 screws over here, and then the roof come off, and then you can get in there to clean it out. This will have to be installed either against the wall or on a post.
It's day 3 of our birdhouse journey. We didn't work all day yesterday, but we got all the renovations done, all the staining, all the predator guards. Some of them we didn't work on because they're brand new. Roof replacements.
Here's the slate tiles.
This looks great, by the way. I really love the little diamond shape. We ended up getting some more of these brass screws, so these are complete. We have to hang them up. I don't know if we're gonna be doing that today or another day. It's really icy. Honestly, look at this. This is like an ice skating rink, but not.
The whole property's like
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and this is how these, you know, kind of platform ones turned out. So this is gonna be going on the big 40 by 60 barn, and I'm hoping that we could get our barn swallows in these versus just having a bunch of robins. And
let's not forget about this one.
Saunders' pride and joy over here. So, you know, this is a big renovation. You've seen some of the before shots. This is the after shots. I think it actually personally looks like a Cornell University building from like the 1800s, where they have the slate roofs and they have these beautiful fronts that look like, you know, stone.
Yeah, because the Cornell buildings have these chimneys that are kind of angled.
They do, and I mean, they all have slate roofs like the older buildings. So we love how this turned out. I think the one thing that we're gonna wanna do, I mean, we're talking about replacing this, but we totally forgot when we went to the store whether we could find like a thick enough like brass post, but these are fine.
It would be cool to, this is a 5/8 diameter rod and 2 feet long, so it'd be cool to find those in brass or some metal.
Or copper or something.
And then
copper would be expensive. But it could be fake copper, I guess. I think when we're gonna have to lift this, it's pretty heavy.
It's really heavy now that the roof's on.
Yeah, and I think what we'll have to do is just stain the post. Yeah, the 5x5 post is tall. It's tall enough that you have to like lift it above your head, even on a ladder. Anyway, so this is how it turned out. We'll share with you basically as we're hanging them up how tall they should be, how far away they should be from one another, but we're really pleased on how these all turned out.
So in order some birdhouses?
So basically, birds like to be around 50 feet apart from one another, but when you have a lot of homes, 25 feet is actually adequate. So we'll probably have these, you know, pretty close together. And each of these are roughly, I would say, what, 6 to 8 feet apart?
Yeah, 8 to 10, actually.
Okay, so then if you have 3 of those, it's about 24 feet, and that is adequate for spacing. And a lot of the tree swallows and bluebirds, they really love waterfront property because a lot of mosquitoes come out of the waterfront, and this is all of pond. And yeah, so this will be a Duncraft one.
You want to put it here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's in the, I thought it was too close to the other one, but.
No, it's about 24 feet apart, so.
It's nice that it's
in with the.
It's in with this plant or this
Yeah, the
vine.
plant is this giant Parthenocissus quinquefolia, which is 5 fingers or Virginia creeper, it's called. Ooh. You need the extender, huh?
Oh, definitely, because otherwise. There we go.
Perfect.
When we're done. That's why it's easy to hang it on the screw, but it's going to be a little more challenging.
You just have to unscrew it, I guess, every time.
Yeah, which is not great, but.
No. These are things that you think about when you have to
All right, cut a little piece of wood.
Like a little base.
A little base, and it's a little bigger than the post, so hopefully we'll like
Hold it
look
up
good.
better.
So there's no real way to open this up because the sides are too like short. So I just have some screws in the back. The roof should come right off.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yes.
Oh wow, ingenious.
So it
Sander.
just sits in there like that,
Yeah.
and the weight of it will also hold it.
Oh cool.
I don't want to put screws in the front, but it seems
Yeah.
like the ones in the back hold it pretty tight. But now I could just screw this to
Exactly.
the post.
Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Oop.
Doing. Yeah, bark on bark, and it's just a little darker so you can see it.
Yeah, that kind of looks good. Want me hold it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I could do it.
I mean, we kind of already have the post.
We're wondering where we're gonna put this because it's kind of a beast, and it has to sit on like a platform like this. Now, our fence used to run here, and we left this one post.
I begged Sander to leave this post.
Well, we can't get it out, so you don't have to beg me. I have no clue what they did to this post. It's really in there, but it's kind of at an angle. But now we're thinking, what if we cut it here and then put this on top of it?
That looks so cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
So then we don't have this like tall post all of a sudden here.
It gets
But
more
it's kinda-
banana up top too, so it's
Yeah,
pretty straight
so
towards
it's
the bottom.
still somewhat straight here. Maybe in
Yeah.
the spring we can pull the posts straight, maybe jam like a shim on that side or whatever. But yeah, I think what we should do is we should put a little post extension on again, because then you get that kind of trim effect
Yeah,
where it kind of goes up like this.
and that's got a really big base, so.
Yes, and it gives more strength and support
Yeah.
to this. The only thing I don't know is how to, well, I could probably screw into this from the bottom. Yeah, all right, let's get the saw and do that. Just drop it. Ooh. I don't think it'll go anywhere. You want it at an angle? Yeah, we could do that. Pull it. That is one piece now. It's a really cool house. I like the little foundation on there too.
Okay, the time has come for us to put up the barn owl box, and it actually comes with pine shavings. So they need about 3/4 inches of shavings on the bottom. That's ideal. But we're gonna put this in first before we mount it because it'll be harder for us to reach. I also have some of this called Aspen Excelsior shavings.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, and people use this like in Easter baskets and things. It's like a kind of a crafty thing, but I find that birds really like it because they could really form it into a nest. I find chickens really like it for nesting. Now, barn owls usually nest from February to July. This is the little
That's
balcony.
the deck.
It's a little deck.
No railing though.
No railing. I don't think they could actually, they don't have hands to like, Anyway,
grab the railing?
Yeah.
What if they fall? Oh, they fly.
So anywhere between 8 feet and 25 feet is optimal, and I think can we
Well,
get behind there?
We're easily gonna make that height. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Could you take a photo of it so I can see it?
Ooh, you're gonna be sore after this.
All right, I'm gonna come down. I like it too much up there. level.
Did you leave it up there? On the owl house or something?
Maybe it's in the birdhouse.
You left it in there, didn't you?
It fell in here.
Oh, come on. All right.
We would have had
calm
some
down.
really smart owls. They would be
Yeah.
engineers. All right, done.
Cool.
All of them are installed.
Except some hanging ones, but that's great. But all the ones in the barn that we planned to be on the barn are up. We still have a few more bird homes to install on the land, including the floating duck island, but this project is pretty much complete. We'll see you in the next video.